UBC Reading Week, so you'll get a chance to meet all of our UBC friends who are here for the next few days. They'll be joining you in your classrooms and just sort of hanging out with you. All right, so let's get going.
Together, step right, together, right, together, step left, together, left, together, jogging on the spot, and get ready to kick your legs.
Community service learning is the combination of three key elements. Students doing volunteer work in the community, some kind of academic content, and structured reflection, which means getting students to think critically about the connection between what they're seeing and experiencing in the community and what they're studying in their courses. Community service learning can be difficult to implement. Students are coming into environments where they're often being asked to do things they've never done before. That can make students uncomfortable, and that's part of the power of the experience.
Not very many UBC students know how to use a hammer. It's just different.
What we're doing here is we're just trying to capture some of the building's exhaust heat and reroute it through some cold frames that we'll be building, so they're able to plant more crops year-round and hopefully produce more food.
A lot of their designs were really, really interesting, but kind of impractical when you had to put things together. So it was kind of a learning experience on both halves.
The students never stood up and said, I know best, and this is what UBC thinks you should do, or this is what me as an academic thinks you should do. And it was a mutual learning process. I think Ted really learned from the students, and I think the students really learned from Ted, and they really enjoyed when he was around and asking him questions.
And we're helping a community, and we're getting, learning experience from it, so it's great. A lot of hard work.
You've got people coming from the university into a community setting where they may not understand the values, the language, the culture, and so there's ways in which the assumptions people bring are not accurate. That process of questioning assumptions and getting beyond stereotypes is always difficult.
The students designed pretty much for the morning of that first day, and then we went on a downtown east side walking tour. A lot of them had never been in the downtown east side before, so that was a really an awakening experience for them. One of my students commented that it was the best part of the project. It really opened her eyes to that community, and kind of the stereotypes and assumptions that she'd gone into the walking tour with kind of disappeared away, and she really started to challenge her role and what her role would be as a civil engineer in regards to the community. So that was really awesome to see.
There needs to be a link between the organization and the students, between the university and the organization. So that project leader plays a really important linking role. And they're also responsible for challenging students to be thinking critically, that reflective component of community service learning. But what's the connection between what I'm doing in this moment and what I'm studying in the university? Am I making a difference, and why does this project need to be done in the first place? What are the larger issues surrounding this project?
And we have group discussions on breaks and just talk about what the impact of this project is having on us, how they might tie it in with what they're learning in the First Nations course that they're taking. So it really is very much like the ecosystem that we're working in. Everything is tied together.
As a forestry student who's interested in conservation, I think a lot about habitat restoration, and I feel really strongly that it's something that we need to focus on and give more attention to. And also, because I'm interested in First Nations in BC, it's been great just to be on the Musqueam Indian Reserve and to meet some of the people. And Christina, who's been working with us, has been really, really excellent.
And a lot of the community members are asking now how they can come in and help, and UBC is so close to our home, and it's great to have them working in our community.
Our project was a health and nutrition curriculum, part of that being good foods to eat, and we came upon this scenario where we can suggest that the students eat these specific foods, but those foods weren't always available to them, being that they lived in an area that didn't have a lot of produce and fresh, availability or money We sat down at the end of these project days and thought, what are the consequences? Because we're telling the students they need to eat fruit and the school's serving them pizza. Are they going to ask questions, or is the school going to be able to, answer those questions fairly? So these were really kind of deep, heady issues that we talked about as project leaders that we did not expect to encounter in a million years in an elementary school context. We were thinking, like, do we have enough photocopies? Do we have enough crayons?
It's waking up!
There's something magical that happens bringing university students into elementary schools. We over and over again hear that kids are saying to the UBC students on the last day, "We love you, when are you coming back?"
You won't believe what kind of impression you'll leave after 3 days. Forget about the science, forget about the math. Those are important, but your interaction with the kids is what's really they're gonna remember that. And believe me, they will. So, except for last year when they remembered the exploding pop thing, that was pretty key. So.
Do you think elephants would have nice smelling breath? No. No? Okay, well, we're gonna make some elephant's toothpaste today.
If we've got these anxieties about, social stratification, that just creates barriers, and that breaking those barriers down, the easiest way to do that is just to be kind. That's the most important thing that I think the UBC students can take from this.
Coming to terms with what you're experiencing in the community and how it differs from your expectations. Students need to have some guidance and direction and support through that process. That's where the project leaders, faculty members, the support people from the community come in, but that can be a difficult process. But again, that's where the learning comes in, and that's why it's such a powerful experience sometimes for students. And that's why students sometimes come away saying, my worldview is transformed.
The one UBC student had those two girls. One's a really strong personality, and the other girl is really quiet. The strong personality girl just kind of took over the group, and she'd tell the quiet girl, don't talk to him today. And I was like, God, this is painful trying to manage this for the first bit. And when I'd take them out and talk to them and then keep on checking back with that group to make sure they were doing it, and they were kind of just skirting along. At the end of the project, the girls did a great job. He gave them a certificate, and on the back of their certificates, he wrote a little note to each one of them, and on the note to the one strong-willed girl, he's like, you have a great personality, you're very, very strong. Sometimes, though, please make sure that you're polite while you're being so strong, because you're a great leader. And then he said to the other quieter girl, you're very quiet, but I think you're very, very smart. Sometimes you should take more of a leadership role. So she sandwiched another compliment for her. And it kind of taught me, like, sometimes you forget to say, hey, you're awesome at this. Don't do this, but you're still awesome. And he did that, and that takes a big man to ride out a 3-day roller coaster with these two girls that are given nothing but the gears.
A lot of the organizations we work with have been really surprised, pleasantly surprised, by the amount of work that a team of students can do in 3 days.
I got a fence built I really wanted to, and I really love that just kind of input of young energy and enthusiasm. It affects all of us here, and we like it.
One of the biggest things that we were aware of with community service learning was, are we taking advantage of the situation to kind of have this opportunity to learn all these skills, and what is it that we're really contributing? But then as the project actually took place, our participation as students in a classical Chinese scholar's garden was, we were learning and we were also contributing by building something that would be of use for this place and to share with the community. And so that it changed from being this academic piece that we were investigating and researching for to becoming something very real and kind of a little bit scary. I mean, the fact that we'd been told that we could build something that would stay in the gardens, that was a permanent installation, that wasn't something that was temporary. It was just this overwhelming sense of achievement.
So we got the kids here to paint something about either taking care of others or taking care of the community. Like these would be taking care of each other, playing with their friends, or that would be no teasing of others.
Getting students out into the community is important for UBC because it's a way of students understanding that they as individuals, they as part of the team, can make a difference in the community. They can have an impact in relation to some of the critical issues that the world is facing.